want to ask you a question. Is Erling Haaland the best player in the world right now?
He's not even the best player at City.
I ask you because all I've seen on my TL for the last 48 hours is compilations of why he should be the Ballon d'Or winner and people praising him, talking about what a great footballer he is. But then the counter argument is he's a bang average footballer. No, his footballing ability is poor. He's becoming this season like a flat track bully when it comes to even goal scoring. I just wanted to kind of get your take on the idea of someone like Haaland winning the Ballon d'Or. And is it a bad look in your opinion for football?
Yeah, because he ain't the best player in the world. He's literally just a goal machine. Yeah, and if you don't put him a chance on the plate inside the penalty box, he ain't scoring it. It don't have to. Well, I say on a plate, he turns half chances or quarter chances into goals in a penalty box. But he ain't a great footballer. Ain't really got much ability. Let's be real with it. Like there's better footballers out there that just don't have the output in front of goal. In front of goal, he's ridiculous. His movement, the way his brain thinks in a penalty box, but outside the box, how many? I think he had 23 touches against us the other week, and we're supposed to think this guy's the best in the world. He had 23 touches in 90 odd minutes, mate. Like, come on. And these people are doing too much, man. But they look at the numbers, innit? Yeah, the goals output, and they go, "Oh, he's the best." Well, he's not, is he? Yeah, Leo Messi should have won it every year since he debuted for Barcelona. Best player in the world every single year. Yeah, ability-wise, passing-wise, scoring, assists, all this, you could put it all together. Vision, weight of pass, yeah, dribbling, everything. You could put all of that, and Messi's been the best player ever since he debuted for Barcelona. Ain't even close. Yeah, and he hasn't got no skill set. Exactly, he's just a goal scorer. That's it. Yeah, but a lot of people, they just look at the stats. Oh, he got the most goals. He must be the best player. Don't work like that. It don't work like that at all. And he ain't winning it. Messi's winning it. Yeah, and rightly so. And then people who have a meltdown. Oh, how did he win it? Oh, Ronaldo scored 40-odd goals, most in 2023. Yeah, well, figure out how the Ballon d'Or works. Yeah, because it's not from the start of January to the end of December. So I don't know why people are still thinking it is. And every year, the same thing happens. People getting in their feelings. Like, oh, this player scored more goals this year than any. Who cares, mate? It don't do calendar years. Yeah, Messi won a World Cup. He was pivotal in winning that World Cup. He won a league title last season. What's the issue here?
Yeah, do you know what's interesting about it? Is this comment here is an interesting one. It says the Ballon d'Or is about achievements, not technical ability.
That's rubbish as well.
So again, but when we say that's rubbish, but is it? Is the Ballon d'Or about who is the most technically gifted footballer in the world, or is it about who has delivered the most, who has achieved the most in the last year? Is there somewhere a clear definition of what? Do you get where I'm coming from? Because if for instance, the Ballon d'Or come out and say, yeah, it's about achievements as opposed to who's got the best technical ability, then you have to start looking at the stats and the trophies, right? Because I've always thought it was about achievements. Because to your point, if Messi wins it and he wins it on his technical ability, unless the next year there's a player with better technical ability than Messi, he's just going to win it every single year. And by that same point, then you almost don't need a vote and you don't need an award ceremony, because the likelihood of somebody else coming in a year later who's got better technical ability is going to be very low when you're as good as Lionel Messi. I always felt it was meant to be about who has had the best achievements I know it's done in terms of seasons now, but it used to be who's had the most achievements in the last calendar year. Or I misunderstood that this whole time.
They've never stated what it is. They just said it's World Player of the Year. They haven't stated its achievements. If it's achievements, yeah, then what's his name? Alvarez wins it. He won a treble and a World Cup and a Super Cup. If we're going down this route of trophies and calendar years.
See, I think what's interesting about that is this. Alvarez, yes, he won those trophies, but when it's achievements, it isn't just did you pick the trophies up. It is how integral were you in terms of your country. So I think he was very important for Argentina winning the World Cup. He's got some very important goals, very good performances. In terms of the Premier League and everything else last year, he was involved. but he wasn't as heavily involved as a Rodri or a Jack Grealish or, of course, Erling Haaland last year. So I get where you're coming from, but you're looking at the individuals spearheaded those achievements. And to say that Haaland wasn't one of, like, what Haaland did last year from a goal scoring point of view eclipses everybody in Europe, because he was the main goal scorer in a team that went on to win a treble. And that in itself is what I always felt the Ballon d'Or was recognizing, who has been the best performing player in the best teams of the season that have achieved great things. That's what I always thought it was, as opposed to we're going to judge it based on who has the best first touch and technical ability. I've never, because whenever they're listing off the reasons why somebody's won, they show the goals, they show the trophies, they talk about them. They never say this guy's got the best first touch and this guy's the best dribbler and this guy's got the best vision. They never mention any of those things. It's always about the achievements of that individual player in the last 12 months. Or again, maybe I've misunderstood the way they've even given the awards out.
Man, the whole award's a popularity contest anyway. Let's just be real with it. It's just whoever's popular. Yeah, it's been like that for a long time. Like back in the day, Michael Owen won it. Was he the best player in the world? No. Yeah, I'm not saying he weren't great, by the way. Yeah, because at that time, I think he was 21, 22. Yeah, he was unbelievable, but he weren't the best player in the world. Yeah, nowhere near the best player in the world back then. Yeah, like Pavel Nedved won it. Unbelievable footballer. Yeah, was he better than Thierry Henry that season? No. Why didn't Henry win it? Ronaldinho won it over Henry. Fair enough. You could say, yep. But Nedved? Not for me. Like, the whole thing's been a farce. Like, Cannavaro won it. Yeah, I'm not saying he weren't a good defender. Of course he was. He was unreal. But was he the best player in the world? No.
See, but this is the thing. Again, this is just my interpretation. I felt he won it because of how well he played in a World Cup that led to Italy winning it when they weren't expected to. And it was the performances in that World Cup and the achievement of all of that is what made him win that award. And it's like, listen, I view it very much as, and I think ability plays a part in who wins a Ballon d'Or, but it's like me and you have worked in sales. Sometimes the person who might win salesperson of the year isn't actually the best salesperson in the business over a 2, 3, 4, 5 year period. They just had a really good year. And maybe they landed a deal that was so spectacular for the company that it's like it gave them an accolade. But the following year, they're back down to where they were. So I do think you can win Ballon d'Ors, Player of the Year awards. Like, would you say the same thing about the Premier League Player of the Year? Should that just be based on who is the best technically or who had the best individual season in terms of achievements, ability, outputs, consistency?
Yeah, I'd say the same with Team of the Year. Like when people do Premier League Team of the Year, we sat on there the other month and did it back in the last season. Team of the Year is Man City's first 11. That's it. Yeah, because that is the Team of the Year, isn't it? But if you're talking about Player of the Year, like, you know, and I said to you, that's a farce as well. Erling Haaland wins it. Cool, fair enough. You've won it. Right? But Bukayo Saka, who's the same age as Haaland, wins the Young Player of the Year. Well, if he's the best player in the league, Haaland, right, according to your own announcement, here you go, Erling, you've won Premier League Player of the Year. Well, surely on that then, he wins the Young Player of the Year. It's all a load of rubbish. The whole thing. It's all right, mate. I've not even bothered since Henry got robbed after Nedved done him. Yeah, I've not even bothered with it. Yeah, but Leo Messi should have won it every year since he's played football or broke into Barca's first team. Unbelievable footballer, and he's got all the accolades to go with it. Turns up most games. 99% of games he turns up when it's on the line. Yeah, and he's the best player in terms of ability. So he's got the ability and he's got the accolades to go with it. Well, he should win it every year then.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear where you're coming from.
I need to go bathroom quick, mate, yeah?
No worries. No, I'll get where you're coming from. I'm just intrigued by the way what people are saying it. Henri said, how many can you score from outside the box? I like that. Allegedly, the primary criteria is the player's individual performances in the previous season, but the real criteria is how many judges you can buy. But yeah, I do think it's about performances as opposed to technical ability. I always thought it was, but we now, and I spoke about this a lot on the terrace. Often people don't want to debate what the criteria are because then once a criteria is set, it removes debate, I suppose, and that's the issue. They want the debate, don't they, Daryl? Ray here says, spot on, Lee. Haaland is not the best player, Mbappe is closer to Messi than Haaland is to Messi. Plus, what has Haaland done in the international scene other than sit and watch major tournaments? This is true, and Norway have failed to qualify again for the Euros. Comparing Haaland to Mbappe reminds me of Van Nistelrooy and Henry debates. Mbappe is far more influential in build-up as well as having output. Yeah, listen, again, when people compare, again, and maybe this is, I think it's a modern-day phenomenon. No one, when people would say who's better, that's like a layman term. It's the wrong phrase. The argument should be who's the more consistent, who performs the best, who scores the most, and who helps lead their team to more major trophies. That was how, when I was a kid, you worked out who the best was. Nobody, and I genuinely mean this as a kid, nobody said so-and-so is better because he's got better technical ability. You could actually admit and concede and say, I know Henry's a better dribbler. I know he's got better first touch. But who actually delivered? It's like with boxing. If Tyson Fury and AJ fight, I've got a better one because they have fought. Anthony Wilder and AJ. Sorry, Wilder and Tyson Fury. We all know Tyson Fury is a superior boxer. But if Wilder knocked him out 3 times running, who would you say the better fighter was? Who would you say is the better professional boxer? Just because Tyson Fury would have been better technically, wouldn't have made him a better overall fighter. And that, for me, is the difference here. And I reverse that scenario to try and paint a picture. Just because you're a better technical boxer, if you don't win the fights, you ain't better than the guys that are beating you. At the end of the day, technical ability is important, and I get why people love it. But I'm just saying the difference between my generation and the generation now is that people judge things on technical ability as opposed to what they're achieving, what they're doing, and their delivery. And I do find it intriguing.
Just very quickly as well about Thierry Henry. I may be wrong in saying this because I can't remember exactly what year Nedved won it, but I'm pretty sure Henry scored 30 goals, 20 assists, all the assist merchants out there, right? So he's got the output. I think it was the year we done a double. Yeah, and I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure France won a World Cup. I may be wrong.
No, you couldn't have won a World. They won the World Cup in '98, didn't they? They weren't. But on a level, Henry not winning it that year. I hated Henry at that point because Man United and Arsenal's rivalry was at a point. And when he didn't win it, I remember laughing and going, but then going, on a real level though, I don't know how he didn't win it. Like, genuinely, the guy was so good, and I thought he deserved it in every way, shape, or form. But there was always a feeling in England back then that for English-based players, not English people, English-based players to win it, it's always been seen as very, very difficult indeed for them to do it. But
then Michael Owen won it.
Oh, Michael Owen did do well. Yeah, no, it has happened. It has happened.
And this is why I discarded it after that. It was 2003. Fair enough, France didn't win anything that year, right? But this is why I discarded it after that, because it's like you've got all the output, you're unbelievable. Yeah, and then somebody comes along who was equally as good, but in his own position, didn't have the accolades of that season, didn't get the output, but was a very gifted footballer as well in Nedved, and he wins it over this guy who's won the trophies, got the ability, spearheaded his team to a double. Like, come on, make it make sense. I just didn't bother.
So in 03, it was 03. So 03 though, Man United won the league though.
Yeah, but it's from the season before, right?
No, it's calendar years then. So 03 would have been the back end of the 02-03 season and the first 4 months of the new campaign.
Years. I didn't think it was just calendar years.
I thought it was. I always thought it was the calendar year. But if it was a season and it was 03, then that was a season that Man United won the league.
I think that was off of the back of him doing a double, mate, in 02.
Someone here saying 03. Okay, no. Okay, if it was 03-04 in the Invincible season, the end of the year, then he deserved to win it. Okay, cool. I don't quite remember.
Maybe it was because Ronaldinho won it over him, and then Nedved won it over him. But I can't remember what. Mate, I've taken so much antibiotics for this toothache. I'm away with a
Google search. I'm going to Google search the winners here. It's probably the quickest way of doing it, to be fair. Let's have a little butchers. No, it was 03. It was 03.
Yeah, it was 03. So I'm pretty sure that's from the year before, because I'm sure it's never been calendar year.
Okay, so it says here, hang on, I'll read out. It's a 2003 Ballon d'Or given is the best football player in Europe as judged by a panel of sports journalists. Panel however, Nedved in 2023 on November 03, shortlist was announced. So the shortlist was announced on November 2003. So this is why I say it was calendar year, because the previous winner won it the last December, and then not until the following November where they give the new shortlist. So it was done at a 12-month increment. Do you get where I'm coming from? You can't unless they took the last 4 months of the first 4 months of a season. I don't know. I wish you think it was calendar year, but either way, if it's 03, that means that would be the last 6 months of a Premier League season. The only trophies won in the period of time they're judging is when Man United won the league. Let's just click on Nedved for a minute, though, because Nedved was very good that year. I just want to check one little thing. I'm checking these honours. That year, Juve won the... See, that year, though, Juve won the league, the Italian FA Cup, and they came second in the Champions League. So, again, on an achievement point of view, they've done a double and got to a Champions League final, where Arsenal that season, I don't know the answer to this, but Arsenal that season, let's just have the 03 season, what they win? They obviously didn't win the league. You won the FA Cup that year, and I don't know where you got in the Champions
Loads of
League.
people in this chat saying I'm confusing World Player of the Year and Ballon d'Or. Well, it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, there is different. I mean, now they've got the FIFA Best Awards, which is even a different one again. Yeah, but I think I did used to think that it was calendar year Ballon d'Or, but I could be wrong.